I use the term ambiguous extremely lightly with Alan Wake's ending. More fitting words would possibly be bewildering, confounding, perplexing, or even flat out confused. Alan Wake's story carefully and concisely blends TV miniseries and novels with an episodic format and captivating narration. While certainly not formulaic, the story itself isn't Metal Gear Solid with its complexity. There are many metaphors and symbolism, but you still follow the plot up until the gameplay wraps up. After you defeat the tornado, everything seems to hit the wall and scatter to the four corners. But then, all seems right in the world, with the primary goal achieved, but the titular Wake has taken Alice's place in the darkness of the lake. Why though? Didn't we defeat the darkness with the clicker? Does it still exist? Why do we need to finish writing the story if we already have a happy ending? How do Hartman and the Anderson brothers know about the dark presence? Here's a big one everyone forgot about. Who was the kidnapper? Why did he need the manuscript? To me, it just seemed like the kidnapping was a way of easing the player into the forces of darkness, so they make it look like a crime drama and then boot you into the fantasy elements. But still, who was he? Why did he care about this? How did he know Wake? What were this character's motivations, and then you kill him off with no explanation for anything? I'm so confused. Let me be clear, I only played the first 6 chapters of Alan Wake. No DLC or Control DLC. So I've decided at some point in the essay, I'll tell you when, I'm going to Google search for the answers, and if they're all deliberately left unanswered unless you get the DLC, then that's pretty scummy. Okay, let's do the main one. It's not a lake, it's an ocean. What? Has he just gone mad? What is an ocean in this context? Does it mean the darkness is never ending? Is it the last line of the book? You have never mentioned the ocean at any point, and suddenly we're supposed to have this big gasp cut to black moment when you've just introduced a concept that no sane person will understand. Just before I look up the answers, who the hell is Mr. Scratch? Why introduce a new character in the last 2 minutes unless you wanted to market your DLC to us directly? I bet that's why the ending is so complicated, but I'm about to find out. Wow, okay, I was hoping this would carry me through to the end. However, once I found out the answers, to Remedy's credit, they didn't put it in the DLC, except for the doppelganger part. I knew the Doctor was evil, but I didn't realize he arranged the kidnapping. Do they explain this? He dies in the game but magically survives in the Control DLC? Hartman seems like he was a much more significant character than the game let him be. Would you please let me know if Hartman's actions are explained somewhere in the manuscript or anywhere? I think I'll close this video out by giving my interpretation on the line, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. It could plausibly refer to how there are other altered world events, like the Hiss in Control. But Sam Lake certainly didn't have this intended meaning at the time of writing, so maybe it represents that darkness is truly infinite. Alan has spent a considerable amount of time in the dark place at this point, so perhaps he is just now realizing that the darkness doesn't just sit at the bottom of Cauldron Lake. Instead, at the bottom of the lake lies an infinite dimension of blackness, as deep and mysterious as the ocean here on Earth, unexplorable, unobtainable, unknowable, that as far as human knowledge spreads and encompasses, it is a tiny flicker of understanding in vast twilight nothingness. So then this raises the question, can light and dark truly be balanced if the darkness is so overwhelming?